We talking in English, and I will give you some topic.
Absolutely. We can switch over to English. Just go ahead and share the topic you have in mind, and I'll be ready to dive in. Is Apple's AI strategy really slow? Or are they just playing a bigger, more strategic game? Sources acquisition of QAI. Instead of rushing to build huge language models, Apple is doubling down on areas like audio, privacy, and on device inference. By leveraging their hardware, they essentially take on a one time capital expenditure and push future inference costs towards zero. The real AI battleground for Apple isn't in making a ChatGPT style product, but in enhancing Siri, AirPods, and the Vision Pro. This is a classic Is Apple's AI being underestimated? Counterintuitive topic.
Uh, I never reading this the news about Apple. How to say "so-go" in English, and can you search this news report and tell me what is happening and what are the business about the QAI?
简而言之，苹果在2026年以大约15到20亿美元收购了以色列的音频 AI 初创公司 QAI。这次收购显示，苹果并不是在追逐庞大的语言模型，而是专注于音频、隐私和设备端的 AI 推理。这意味着他们在像 Siri、AirPods 和 Vision Pro 这样的设备上发力，而不是做一个类似 ChatGPT 的产品。这也支撑了苹果 AI 可能被低估了的观点。
You keep in English to communicate and how to say the "so-go" in expression the "so-go" in English.
Of course, I'll stick to English. The phrase 所谓的 in English is often translated as so called, so you can just say the so called to express that meaning.
I don't to be clear the voice AI agent, AI product, and what is the actually use case about the voice AI?
Sure. So when people talk about a voice AI or a voice based AI product, they usually mean something like a virtual assistant or an AI that can understand and respond to spoken language. For instance, tools like Entity Apple Siri, voice assistant, or Entity Amazon Alexa, voice assistant, let you talk to your device and get answers, control smart home gadgets, or set reminders just by using your voice. In other words, the use case for voice AI is all about hands free interaction and making technology more intuitive and accessible by just speaking naturally.
I just ask you is Apple so-go QAI how to say in English?
Ah, got it. In English, you can just say Apple's so called acquisition of QAI. So way that turns into so called, and the rest stays the same.
Acquisition. I ask you is so-go not 所谓的.
Ah, I see what you mean. Thanks for clarifying. So, yes, in English, soeda is indeed translated as so called. It's used to indicate that something is referred to by a certain name, sometimes with a hint of skepticism. Let me know if there's anything else.
Okay, let's way back to the topic and how do you watching this the acquisition about to Apple acquisition the QAI because I really don't understand the voice is so important for because it's just one niches about the AI area.
Absolutely. Let's circle back to that. So, the reasoning behind Apple acquiring QAI is mostly about enhancing their capabilities in on device AI and making the voice interface more seamless. Even though voice is just one piece of the AI puzzle, it's a pretty significant piece for Apple. They rely heavily on voice interaction for products like Siri, the AirPods, and even the Vision Pro. By acquiring a company that specializes in AI for audio, Apple is likely aiming to make voice interactions much more natural, private, and efficient directly on their devices. So, in short, the so called reasoning is that Apple is playing to their strengths, integrating AI deeply into the hardware and making the voice experience a key part of their ecosystem.
So the one device AI is how latest the development, because I don't to be familiar with this area, because I have very be familiar about the AI, use the AI by the internet, not the one device.
Absolutely. And it's a good question. So, the idea of on device AI is basically about running AI models directly on your phone, earbuds, or other personal devices instead of relying on a cloud server. This approach has become more advanced lately because chips and hardware have gotten powerful enough to handle AI tasks locally. What that means is that a lot of the processing, like recognizing your voice commands, understanding context, or even doing some basic machine learning predictions, can happen right on the device. That makes things faster, more private, and usable even without an internet connection. While a lot of AI still runs in the cloud, the trend of on device AI is definitely growing, and Apple's acquisition is part of that push.
So can you tell me some of the latest development information about one device AI? Not not limit Apple.
Sure. In a nutshell, the latest developments in on device AI are showing that more companies are focusing on mining AI directly on devices rather than in the cloud. For instance, new chips from companies like Qualcomm are making it possible to handle AI tasks locally, which means faster responses and more privacy. This trend is growing quickly, with the market for on device AI expected to keep expanding in the next several years. In short, it's not just about Apple. Many companies are moving in this direction.
Oh, Qualcomm. I know this. So
Exactly. It's pretty cool to see how companies like Qualcomm are pushing this forward. They're definitely one of the big players helping to make on device AI more mainstream and giving a lot of devices the ability to do more without always needing the cloud. If there's anything you're curious about in this area, just let me know.
we need to enter the next topic. We have spent a lot of time on that.
Absolutely. We can shift gears. Just let me know what the next topic is, and we'll jump right in. So, if Amazon were to actually invest $50 billion in OpenAI, it's quite a strategic move. Source: Amazon potentially investing in OpenAI. Amazon is already investing in Atomic, Anthropic, AI Research Lab, and now they're getting closer to OpenAI as well. That means they're not just betting on one single AI model company. The real focus here isn't purely on the models themselves, it's about cloud infrastructure, computing power, and chips like Trainium. In other words, the tech giants are no longer placing all their bets on a single AI model. Instead, they're aiming to control the underlying AI infrastructure. This is essentially a strategic chess game between cloud providers and AI model companies.
So I to be understanding the invested operations. So can you make some bit of analysis for me? You can reading the original news.
In short, there's a big potential move in the works where Amazon might invest up to $50 billion in OpenAI. This isn't just about betting on one AI model company. It's more about Amazon trying to secure control over the AI infrastructure, things like cloud services and computing power. Essentially, this could reshape how big tech companies partner with AI firms and who gets to hold the keys to the underlying technology in the future.
So they have a business partner corporation. I don't to be understand because I just know Amazon is act as cloud service, but like the OpenAI or Topic, who really use the Amazon service to practice their model or not don't know any relationship.
Exactly. It can seem a bit surprising at first. The idea is that Amazon isn't just a cloud provider here, they're positioning themselves as a backbone for AI development. Companies like OpenAI or Anthropic often need massive amounts of computing power to train and run their models. By partnering with Amazon, they can use Amazon's infrastructure, like servers and specialized AI checks, to do that heavy lifting. So it's a business relationship where Amazon provides the muscle in terms of cloud and computing, and in return, they get a stake in the AI advancements. In short, it's all about who controls the tools that power the next wave of AI.
So uh why Amazon there uh why Amazon don't exercise their models?
Well, it's a great question. Basically, Amazon does have its own AI efforts, but their primary strength and what they really excel at is providing the infrastructure. Instead of competing directly by building their own large scale models, they find it more strategic to become the go to platform for other AI companies. This way, they don't have to win the AI race themselves. They benefit no matter which AI company comes out on top because all of them might be using Amazon's infrastructure. It's kind of like being the foundation that everyone builds on, which is a pretty strong position to be in.
Okay. So we continue next topic.
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling. Just let me know what the next topic is, and we'll dive right in. So, here's an interesting shift in the discussion. OpenAI is already using AI agents internally to manage data, while many regular companies are still writing SQL queries by hand. Source OpenAI in house data agent. OpenAI's internal AI agent can go from a question to an insight in just a few minutes. This isn't a one size fits all agent. It's customized around permissions, data structures, and specific workflows. The real value of these agents is that they become an organizational capability, not just another tool. It's a perfect topic to discuss when AI agents might truly start replacing data analysts or data roles.
Uh, this this news I also don't reading. I still don't have reading. So can you tell me the details? Because I don't understanding about like the use the agent to analyze question just several minutes.
Sure. In summary, OpenAI has built an internal AI agent that lets their team turn a question into a data insight in just a few minutes. Instead of writing SQL by hand, their agent is customized around their data structure and workflow, making it an organizational-wide capability rather than just another tool. It's a good example of how AI agents might start to replace traditional data analyst roles in the future.
The data analysis, the job is only write the circle.
Not at all. Writing SQL is just one piece of the puzzle. Data analysis as a job usually involves understanding the business questions, figuring out what data is needed, cleaning and preparing that data, analyzing it, which might involve SQL but also other tools, and then interpreting the results to provide meaningful insights. What the AI agent does is automate the more routine parts of that process, like querying and quickly generating an initial analysis, so that the humans can focus more on the nuanced thinking, interpreting the results, and making decisions. It's not replacing every part of a data analyst job, just some of the more repetitive tasks.
I never used the AI agent exception the programmer. So would I have any another industry using the agent? Because I don't to be have the willing to use the agent in the another workflows. Can you give me some several use case?
Absolutely. AI agents are starting to pop up in a bunch of different industries beyond just coding or data analysis. For example, customer support. Some companies use AI agents to handle basic customer service questions before a human steps in. These agents can answer FAQs, help with order tracking, or even assist with simple troubleshooting. Human resources and HR, AI agents can help onboard new employees, answer common policy questions, or guide people through benefits enrollment. Marketing, some businesses use AI agents to analyze customer behavior and automatically suggest marketing strategies or personalized content. So there's a growing list of use cases out there. Basically, anywhere there's a repetitive workflow or a lot of routine questions, and agents are starting to help out. Enrollment.
I think the customer support and the human resource both uh both both of them could be replaced by the agent, but I think marketing shall not be completely replaced. And I want to ask you a question is how to saying the A and B uh, then cannot be replaced in more fluently English expression.
Sure, you could say it more fluently like this. I think AI agents can probably replace a lot of customer support and HR tasks, but when it comes to marketing, I don't think they can fully replace humans. That way, you are smoothly expressing the idea that marketing still needs that human touch.
Okay, we dive the next topic is the
Absolutely. Let's jump right into the next topic. Just let me know what it is, and we'll keep the conversation going. So, this is a pretty interesting angle to dive into. It turns out that a huge portion of Microsoft's revenue, we're talking $281 billion, actually comes from just one customer, and that customer is OpenAI, sourced $281 billion from one customer. OpenAI has become a historic level mega client for Microsoft. The demand for AI inference is so intense that Microsoft can barely build out enough computing power to keep up. In the AI era, this kind of customer concentration risk actually magnifies even for big tech giants. And it's a great talking point. Does AI make the big players more stable, or does it actually make them more fragile?
so how do you thoughts about the topic?
I think it's a fascinating double edged sword. On one hand, having a client like Entity, Organization, OpenAI, AI Research Lab, can be a massive boost for Entity, Microsoft, Technology Corporation, giving them a huge revenue stream and a strong position in the AI market. On the other hand, it does create a kind of dependency that could be risky. If that one customer's needs change or if something shifts in the market, it could leave Microsoft more exposed. So, in a way, AI can make these big players both more powerful and a bit more vulnerable at the same time.
We just have talked. OpenAI have spent all OpenAI is currently it need the Microsoft the computer ability and so it have the uh another the choice. It just the Microsoft.
Right, and that's a good point. Right now, OpenAI is heavily leaning on Microsoft's computing resources, which is a big reason why that partnership is so important. In theory, OpenAI could look to other cloud providers like Entity, Company, Amazon Web Services, cloud computing platform, or Entity, Google Cloud, cloud services provider. But right now, they've got a pretty strong alignment with Microsoft. That gives them not just computing power, but also tight integration with Microsoft's tools and infrastructure. So, yes, they do have other potential options, but shifting to another provider will come with its own costs and complexities. For now, they're pretty tightly linked to Microsoft.
I just ask a question is exception the Microsoft OpenAI have required another cloud profile make the cooperation about in the computing resource.
I get what you're asking. So far, aside from Microsoft, OpenAI hasn't really brought another major cloud provider into the same kind of deep partnership for compute resources. The main large scale cloud collaboration has been with Microsoft, which is why it's such a big deal. They may use other smaller servers in hand there, but in terms of a major cloud partnership at the level of what they have with Microsoft, they haven't really replicated that with another provider.
Oh, okay. So we talking the last topic.
We definitely did cover a lot of ground. It's always fun to dig into these topics. Whenever you're ready, just let me know what you'd like to jump into next. Absolutely. That's a really interesting angle. So, the real bottleneck for the future of agents isn't necessarily the models themselves, it's the training and validation environments. It's hard to handle long term tasks, reliable testing, reproducibility, and evaluation of these agents. In the future, we may see just a handful of major reinforcement learning or agent infrastructure players dominating the field. It's a bit like the old data labeling industry. Not very flashy, but extremely profitable. In other words, it's a great example of how the real hidden gold mine in AI might actually be in the infrastructure that supports these agents, not just the agents themselves.
I don't to be familiar about the agent infra. What does mean is different like the OpenAI or the Asobic.
When we talk about agent infra, we basically mean the underlying infrastructure or platforms that let AI agents operate, train, and be tested effectively. So it's not about the agent models like those from OpenAI or Anthropic themselves. It's about the behind the scenes systems that allow these agents to learn, run longer term tasks, and be reliably evaluated. And other words, agent infrastructure is the set of tools and environments that make it possible for these AI agents to be trained and tested in a consistent way. It's a bit like the backbone that supports the agents, and it's a crucial piece that might become a big deal in the AI world.
So do you think if like me, just the one person, I want to develop a agent just finish a single test, it could be achieved?
Absolutely, it can be achievable. If you're just one person and you want to create an agent to tackle a single task, you definitely can. There are plenty of tools and frameworks out there that let individual developers experiment and build smaller, focused agents without needing a huge infrastructure. You might not have the large scale training and validation environment that big organizations use, but for a single task agent, you can absolutely start small and build something practical. It's definitely within reach for an individual developer.
Okay. So thank you. You joined this podcast.
You're very welcome. It was a lot of fun adding through all these topics with you. If you ever want to dive into more discussions or just have a new topic in mind, just let me know. Thanks for having me.